First up, for honorable mentions, we have Cribbage. Cribbage is a great game for 2 to 4 players, and this is a card game. It's an old game. I don't know when. It's got to be from the year 1630. 1630. It is a card game where the objective is to get all the way around the track and get your peg to the end, and you get points for pegging. You need to get points based on when you have a cribbage pile, you have your own pile, the opponent has a pile, and you alternate cards, and you're trying to get key miles, like you're trying to get to 15, 15-2, right? So 15, if you get to 15, you get 2 points. If you get to 31, um, you get 2 points. I believe if you are able to get a run, 3, 4, 5, so I play a 3, you play a 4, and I play a 5, provided you haven't gone over 31, that would be 3 points. And then you start to total your hand at the end for combinations. You're looking for, um, again, pairs of, you're looking to get combinations that give you 15. So 4, 5, 6 is a great cards, a run. So there's all different kinds of scoring basically to get around the track. Great game. Next one up for honorable mention, Seven Wonders. Okay, I have a playthrough on my channel, guys. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Great game. In this game, you are trying to build wonders. You're trying to get the most points. It's a drafting game. You're passing the card around. You select a card, you pass the card around. You're using your neighbors for resources. You're competing against your neighbors. You're having combat against your neighbors. It's a great game again. Yeah, if you haven't played that one, give that one a try. Next up, and this might be the biggest surprise, Yahtzee. Yahtzee. I love this game. It's an honorable mention, not quite on the top 10, but just great to toss dice, pick your combinations, try to cross off what you're trying to score. You know, you, the, you have the top track if you're familiar with Yahtzee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're trying to get as many ones as you can, as many, as many twos, as many threes, etc., etc. And then there's, of course, if you get 5 numbers in a row, 5 of the same numbers, that's a Yahtzee, and you're able to just chain numbers and get big time numbers and try to beat your opponent. Great game. I love that game. Can't Stop, another dice checking game. This is a great game as well. Created in 1980, so this game's been around for a while. I didn't know that. Great game. The objective of this game is to climb the mountain. You want to climb 3. The first to like your objective is to climb to the top here of at least 3. So you have numbers 2 to 12, and obviously 6, 7, and 8 are the middle numbers. Those are usually when you chuck 2 dice, the most common numbers that you're going to roll. So those have the longest path to get to the top. 12 and 2 at the very end, I think, only has 3 spaces to go to the top, and because those are the hardest numbers to roll. So it's all balanced. Your objective is to get, like I said, to 3 of the very top spaces. Here you can see 3 blue pylons at the top. They would have won that game. So yeah, great game. And last but not least, we have PAX Premier Second Edition. PAX Premier Second Edition. This one just missed out on the top 10. It's probably number 11. Just came out, made by Cole Whirl, 2019. I think he also makes Root. And so this is a great game because what you're trying to do, it's so abstract. You really have to wrap your mind around this game. You really aren't, when you play a game, typically you're a faction, you're a group, you're this team or that team. So in this game, you're more a political operative in Afghanistan. There's England, there's Russia, there's Afghanistan. You pick one of those 3, and you're trying to score points, and you might be fighting like a war versus your neighbors or versus the opposing players. You could be you doing a spy. You could be using political, I think, science. Yeah, it's a very thinky political game, I would call it. You can switch sides, so you can be Russian, you can become French or British, you can become Afghanistan, and you basically are, I think you're siding with the warlords, and it's really cool. The cards are historical. Yeah, great game, guys. Just missed out on the top 10. 10 on my list for best game, top 10. Ticket to Ride. This is another phenomenal game, guys. If you haven't played this, this is a lot of people's entry into the board gaming space. It was for me. What the objective is here is you are trying to complete routes that you get. You start off the game with 3 route cards. That could be from Winnipeg to Miami or Montreal to Oklahoma City, Seattle to Calgary, etc., etc. And the objective is to complete those routes and score as many points as possible and beat your opponents. How you score routes is by, you can see here, there is, oh yeah, I can zoom in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I had 5 orange tickets, I would then play those 5 orange tickets, assuming nobody else had claimed this route, and I would put my tracks over that route. This is a great game. On your turn, you have a choice to select a card from the market. You can pick 3 new routes, or you can lay down tracks. And it's very thinky. You have your opponents. You have lots to think about for such a simple game. If somebody claims St. Louis to Nashville and drops 2 roads there, it you start to feel the pressure. Like, do I collect tickets and have a whole bunch in my hand and then start to play? Do I go for rainbow cards, which are wild cards? You can use a rainbow card as any to represent any color. There's so many choices and so many options. If you wait too long, your possible routes get claimed, and now you have to take these really long routes all the way around just to get to your point. It's very, very cutthroat and just a phenomenal game. Simplistic. I love it. Number 10 on my list. Great game. If you haven't played this, again, I recommend it. On my list is a game that I'm sure that many of you have never heard of. This is a phenomenal game that I just got introduced to recently. This game is called Mapmakers, the Gerrymandering Game. Try to say that 10 times fast. It's impossible. Um, this game, I'll just give you a little glimpse here. You are gerrymandering. I don't really know what that is, but you are a color. You're red or blue or green, and what you're trying to do, the board, it looks similar to like Catan, something like that. The board has various colors, numbers represented, like a red 3, green 5. What your job is to slice up the board so that I believe it's 4. You have to have a minimum of 4 of these hexes in walled off up to a maximum of 7. And the objective is for you and your color. If I'm red, I want to slice up these areas so that red gets the majority in each one of those. You will just block these areas off, count up who has the most numbers, and from there, whoever has the most numbers claims it. So in this area here, you can see blue claimed that space, red claimed this space in here. It is phenomenal. Again, so simplistic. I love these games that are simplistic, but yet very thinky. Mistakes made will punish you. It's a puzzle to open up. You are trying to slice and dice. You think you have the advantage. You think you have the lead, and your opponent cuts it up in a way that you did not see, and that could totally change everything. Just an incredible game that probably most of you have never heard of. I highly recommend, if you find this, the physical version, or play this on Board Game Arena, please do. It's not played enough, and that's a shame. Um, it is like number 9 on my list for a reason. It's incredible, and it's climbing. Next year, this could be number 4 or 5. Number 5, 4, 3. It could be my top 5. Can't recommend it enough. Gerrymandering, Map Maker, the gerrymandering game. Number 8 on my list is one of the best Euros that you can find, Agricola. This game was created by Uwe Rosenberg in 2007. You can see 1.6 million plays on Board Game Arena. This game is a great Euro, and so what you are trying to do in this game is, on your turn, you place a worker and you're going to be scoring points. The objective is very cutthroat, so you're trying to lay down a farm, and anything you think that you would try to do on a farm, it's very intuitive. You want to lay down farm field to make wheat bread. You want to fence off an area to have sheep or cows or pigs, and you want to build your stables, your house a little bit bigger so you can add a third meeple. You have children, and then you would have a third worker, a fourth worker, a fifth worker, etc. The objective is to get as many. So you don't want to really specialize in this game, because you're going to be getting deducted points for the things you don't get. So if you don't get a cow, you would get minus points. If you don't get a pig, you're going to get minus points. If you don't plant vegetables, you will get minus points. So you want to try to get a little bit of everything, but still optimize your engine. This is very cutthroat because people are fighting for the options. There's different options that open up each round. I think it's 15 rounds, and then that's it. Each round is a new option that gets uncovered. You're not sure what it is. And yeah, again, another phenomenal game on this list. This is number 8, Agricola. Number 7 on my list is the Mac Daddy, the King, Catan. This is the game that probably got most 99% of gamers into what we'll call modern board gaming, outside of like Monopoly and Uno and that kind of thing. Phenomenal game. In this game, your objective is to get, I think, what is it, 10, 11 victory points. You want to expand. You fight for points. You could get the longest road, the biggest army, multiple different ways to score. Your placement in the very beginning of the game is ultra important. A lot of very good players win and lose the game based off where you put your first 2 settlements and roads. And if they're placed poorly, you have a long game of sitting and watching other people collect resources. Yeah, so generally you want to land on the 8s, the 6s. 7 is the most common number, and that is a robber. And that is strategically used to block and be placed on top of your numbers, so that when your number is rolled, you do not get those resources. And this game is all about generating resources. It's about trade. It's about planning out your moves. You want to think ahead as much as possible, build out your roads. You want to get to the port and get that 2-for-1 or 3-for-1 trade value, because the standard is 4-for-1. So you could trade any 4 resources for one of another, and that's very punishing. That's a lot of cost. So yeah, this is, like I said, probably the original game that got me into board games as well, along with Ticket to Ride, and probably a lot of you out there. So this is number 7, Catan. Number 6 on my list is a game called For Sale. For Sale is a bidding and auction game. This was created in 1997 by Stephen Dora. And in this game, you will be competing against anywhere from 3 to 5 players. This is kind of the sweet spot. And so a card will be flipped, for example, this 8, and you will go through taking turns laying down money. You basically will go through kind of auction style, and whoever bids the most money wins and gets this 8. Then the next card is flipped over. Could be a 16. And so they range from a 1 all the way to a 30. You do not want to get generally the 1. You want to get the higher cards because this game is essentially 2 stages. First round, you will be bidding and competing for these cards. In the second round, you will then be competing for money. So we basically, from there, we will be flipping over dollar values, and could be between $1 to $15. And you will be then picking your properties to go up for that money. And whoever puts the highest property will get the highest money. If you put the lowest property, you will get the lowest money. And the end game objective is to get the most money. It's very strategic. It's very tight. You don't know what your opponents are going to do. You have many aspects in play, from bidding. Do I save my money? Do I wait? Then finally, you're throwing down your cards, your properties, in exchange for what you hope. You need to be able to read opponents' cards. You need to be able to gamble when the timing is right. It's a great game. This is number 6 for sale. Is Carcassonne. Another game that I just had a recent playthrough recently. If you want to check that out, it's in the playlist. And this game has 14 million plays, 2 to 5 players, by Klaus Jürgen Wrede. So in this game, what you will be doing is laying down a tile. You will be trying to claim cities by laying down a tile, placing your meeple, and then scoring the points. You can play roads. You can lay down your meeple sideways in the grass to claim like a farm. So you're trying to claim as many cities as possible. It's very cutthroat, very thinky. Lots of options when you lay the tile down. Where do I put the tile? You have rules, of course, where you have to, and constraints. You can't just put the tile anywhere. It has to match, like here, a road to a road, a city to a city. But as long as you're meeting those constraints, you can put the tile anywhere you want. You can turn the tile generally. There is a lot of thinkiness to this. It can be very passive if you and your opponent are building on the opposite side from each other. And it can also be very, very attack heavy, very cutthroat. Again, whoever scores the most points at the end when the tiles run out is the winner. Again, another great game. This game has stood the test of time for a reason. It is very simple, but again, one of those simple but deep games. The rules are one page. You can learn this game in 15 minutes tops and never really have to reference the rules again. But it takes 1,000 plays to kind of, master it, if you will. So that is number 5, Carcassonne. Number 4 is a game called Memoir 44. This is a tabletop skirmish game this is created the year 2004 by Richard Borg. He makes many games, what's called the Command and Colors series. And what that means is you have 3 lanes, left, center, right, and the objective here is to claim these little medals, and you want to fill this up and you will win. How do you get medals? Well, you will advance your troops, attack the other troops. It's a World War II themed game. You'll be chucking dice, trying to match the symbols generally. So if I'm attacking a soldier here, I want to chuck my dice and roll a soldier. A grenade is a wild card symbol. If I'm attacking a tank, I want to chuck my dice and get a tank symbol. Then your opponent will go. How do I move my troops? It is card driven. So you will draw 3, 4 cards, and those cards will tell you which units and which sector can move. It can be very, very luck. Like what's the word I'm trying to say? If you don't have the luck with the dice, with the cards, you can get heavily run over. A lot of people don't like it, but I love it. That this game is an incredibly good, satisfying tabletop skirmish for 2 players. You can play it, knock it out in an hour. You generally play the map once. Then, because it's not symmetrical, it's generally asymmetrical, meaning one side could be heavily favored to win. You then flip it and you would replay that mission so that and then you kind of do an aggregate. Whoever had the most medals would win out of the best of the 2. So, anyways, Memoir 44 is my number 4 pick, and this is a lot better than Risk. Just had to say that. We're into the top 3 here, and number 3 is Race for the Galaxy. Race for the Galaxy is created by Tom Lehman, 2007, 16 million plays on Board Game Arena. This game is an all-time classic. What you're trying to do here is lay down a tableau that you're going to be using to build and build powerful, generate points. Whoever gets the most points at the end wins, the usual. But how you get there is you can do military, you can do research. These cards are multi-use, so you can play a card or you can use it as currency. So if I want to play this, let me see if I can find another card here. Oh, a lot of art. So if I want to play this 3 card, it's going to cost me 3. So which means that I'm going to have to play 3 cards to lay down this card. This card here is a little bit of an anomaly. It's surrounded by red. That means military. So you're going to have to build your military to do that. But generally, it'll have a cost here. You will need to plan ahead and say, if I want to play this card that costs me 3, I need to discard 3 cards to pay for it. And once it's in your tableau, it starts to do stuff for you and starts to build. And so you're generating this engine, and your opponent's generated an engine, and you're trying to score points, trying to various methods and factions. Lots of symbols on here, but it's phenomenal. Another card game that has stood the test of time for a reason. It has a lot of similarities to Magic the Gathering without needing you to collect an insane collection that it constantly buying. You get a deck of 60, 80, 90 cards, and this is top tier stuff. Number 3, Race for the Galaxy. Number 2 is another space type game, and this is Space Base. Space Base still is, I believe, the most played game on my list for Board Game Arena. John D. Clare is the creator. In 2018, over 3 million plays. Quick to play, 2 to 5 players, 13 minutes. And in the objective in this game, you are trying to roll dice. You're trying to build out these rocket ships right here. They cost $3 to play. On your number 10 space, you have 12 spots from 1 to 12. You are trying to upgrade that engine. So I would buy this one for $3, and then I would play it on the number 10 space. So my 10 space gets stronger. Whenever a 10 is rolled, I would get all of this loot. If I get another 10, I would lay it on top of this, and then I would get both of those rewards. A third one, I would get 3. So you're trying to pick which numbers on your tableau you want to power up, and your objective is to get to, I can't remember the number, 30 points. It's a certain point number threshold that you're trying to get to, and that triggers the end game. Again, very cutthroat. It's great compared to Catan, which is what this game is compared to most. You roll 2d6 dice, and you can select the option of what your results you want. Where Catan, if you roll an 8, you have to take the 8. Here, if you roll a 5 and a 3, that makes 8, you can select the 8 or you can select the 5 and the 3. So it gives you some more choices, it gives you some more options to build your tableau and get those points and get the victory. This is number 2 on my list, Space Base. Great game. Number 1 on my list, I did a playthrough. I think I gushed about this game constantly. This is Gizmos. Gizmos, my all-time number 1 favorite game. It is just behind Space Base in terms of my most played game, but catching up quick. This is 2018, made by Phil Walker Harding, 2 to 4 players. And this game, I do not see this game, the physical version. I've been trying to find it and buy it. It's not available anywhere, but I love this game. The objective of this game is to get 15 victory points. And how you get the victory points is by building level 1, level 2, and level 3. I guess they're called gizmos. And you get the colored balls that you're going to be selecting on your turn. So you can either select a ball, you can reserve one of these cards. If I get, so for instance, here's sort of like a recipe. If I get 3 yellow balls, I can then pay for this yellow card here, and then I would get that in my tableau, and this would give me, anytime I draft a blue ball, I can convert that to 2. So you're getting 2 for 1. And then I might get this one. So this one would give me 1 red would give me 2 red. And this one here, whenever I would build a yellow or a black, so a yellow symbol, would give me a victory point. And so you build your tableau play after play, round after round, and it gets more powerful. Your opponents are doing so. Here, if I get a blue, it's a wild card. So I can use a blue to represent any color. So crazy, this game. It strikes the perfect balance of being, again, simple, but yet tactical and strategic with a ton of depth. You can play this game a million times. You won't ever see the same game twice. It hits that sweet spot. There's a lot of luck involved, but you still have to have strategy. I love this game. Phenomenal. My number 1 game all time on this list. Well, that's it, guys. This is that was my top 10 favorite games on Board Game Arena. My physical version, if I was to do a top 10, would be different than this. But these are the games on Board Game Arena that I navigate to, that I search out to want to play the most. Therefore, they are my top 10 list. Pick the games that I believe that you play the most, you have the most fun with. That should be comprise the bulk of your top 10 games. You know, I see a lot of reviews and top 10s where people have played it once or twice or 3 times, and it's, how can that be in your top 10? Just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Any surprises on here? Any games that are your favorite? Any games I haven't played that you recommend? Anyways, thank you so much for checking out my top 10 games of all time on Board Game Arena. Keep playing, keep painting, and we'll check you guys out in the next video. Thanks, and have a great night.